Like other celebrities, Madonna did humanity a service by adopting a boy from a less privileged home 16 years ago. The boy went from living in an orphanage to living in a luxurious mansion. The big question is what has happened to him since he moved in with Madonna, and most importantly, at his current age, what is he up to? In this video, you will find everything you need to know about the little helpless boy of those years ago. Watch the video until the end to learn the entire story. Madonna's decision to adopt David Banda. In 2006, Madonna was at the peak of her career. She was a global pop icon known for her music, acting, and strong advocacy for various social causes. While her career was flourishing, she began to take a more active role in humanitarian work, particularly focusing on Africa. Around this time, Madonna became deeply involved with Malawi, one of the poorest countries in the world, where poverty and inadequate healthcare were widespread. She was moved by the plight of the children she encountered, and then it struck her to establish a charity she named Raising Malawi. The aim was to help orphans and vulnerable children in the country. During one of her visits to Malawi, she visited an orphanage called Home of Hope. It was here that Madonna set her eyes on David Banda, a small, frail boy who was just over a year old. David had been born in a rural village with little or no resources in Malawi. As if that was not heartbreaking enough, he had lost his mother shortly after birth. His father, Yohane Banda, was a struggling farmer who could barely provide for himself or his other children. Seeing how young he was, he decided to place David in the orphanage in hopes of giving him a better life. When Madonna met David, he was battling pneumonia and other life-threatening issues. It was in that fragile condition that Madonna saw him and immediately felt a connection with him. Overcome with the desire to give him a chance at a healthier, more stable life, Madonna made the life-changing decision to adopt David. However, the process was far from straightforward. At the time, Malawi had no formal adoption laws for international adoptions. This leads to complications and legal hurdles. At first, Madonna faced criticism from some human rights groups and media outlets that accused her of exploiting her celebrity status to fast-track the adoption process. There were also concerns about David being taken from his native country and away from his culture. As if that was not enough, there were speculations that Madonna's adoption was nothing more than a publicity stunt and not a genuine act of compassion as she would want people to believe.
Adoption in 2006 sparked controversy. It's reported the star, or those representing her, will appear in court tomorrow for the adoption proceedings. However, not everyone's happy with the idea, arguing that orphans shouldn't be taken away from their extended families.
Despite the public scrutiny, Madonna remained firm in her decision. She responded to the criticism by emphasizing her intentions, stating that her goal was to provide David with the healthcare, love, and opportunities that he desperately needed, and that she would ensure he stayed connected to his Malawian roots. Amid the media frenzy, David's father, Yohane Banda, voiced his support for the adoption, saying that he had initially placed his son in the orphanage because he could not afford to care for him. Yohane believed Madonna could offer David a much better life than he ever could, and he trusted that Madonna would be a loving and supportive mother. With Yohane's approval, Madonna's persistence, and the legal backing of the Malawian authorities, the adoption was finalized in 2008, 2 years after David came into Madonna's care. Keep watching as we reveal every detail about the young David. David Banda's early life. David Banda was born on the 24th of September, 2005, in a small village called Lipunga in Malawi. His birth family came from humble beginnings, with his father, Yohane Banda, working as a farmer. Unfortunately, David's mother passed away when he was just a few weeks old due to complications following childbirth and lack of money to procure the needed health care. Left as a widower and struggling to provide for his family, Yohane decided to place David in an orphanage, hoping that he would receive better care and opportunities. David was taken to the Home of Hope orphanage in Mckinji, Malawi. Despite being in the care of the orphanage, David struggled with serious health issues from an early age. He was diagnosed with pneumonia, a condition that weakened his already fragile body, making his survival uncertain. The orphanage staff did their best to care for him, but had limited resources and medical supplies. In year 2006, Madonna visited Malawi as part of her humanitarian work through her charity, Raising Malawi. During this visit, she came across David Banda at the orphanage and felt compelled to give him a good life. But first, she had to adopt him. A decision that was blown out of proportion and almost ruined her. Madonna's decision to adopt David was not a walk in the park. It sparked international controversy, and before she knew what was happening, many news outlets had started publishing untrue stories with distorted facts about her. Madonna was resolute and vowed never to be intimidated. She persisted and contacted all the necessary authorities to have the adoption papers duly signed. The back and forth continued for almost a year. If Madonna weren't a sincere person who wanted to help the poor boy, he would have given up the fight. Look at it this way. She could have visited another orphanage in a different place where the adoption process was more seamless. What's more, she could adopt a healthy child. In the end, Madonna's adoption of him was finalized. Even with the challenges, her efforts to provide David with a healthier, more stable life paid off. He quickly became part of Madonna's family, and she ensured that he would grow up with access to education, healthcare, and opportunities that were out of reach in his native country. Growing up with Madonna. After his adoption in 2008, David Banda started a new chapter of his life. He started growing up under the care of one of the most famous women in the world. Can you imagine living in a house where you no longer have to worry about your next meal? That was the new world David was introduced into. David became part of a large family. Madonna had 2 biological children, Lourdes Leon and Rocco Ritchie, from her previous relationships. And by the time David was adopted, she had also adopted a daughter, Mercy James, from Malawi. Later, Madonna expanded her family further by adopting twin girls, Stella and Estere, also from Malawi. Growing up in such a large family with siblings from different backgrounds allowed David to develop a sense of belonging and unity, despite coming from different families. David's relationship with his siblings was built on shared experiences. Lourdes, the eldest, played a significant role as a protective older sister, while Rocco, who was closer to David in age, became a companion during his childhood. Mercy, who was adopted not long after David, shared a special type of bond with him due to their similar backgrounds from Malawi. The younger twins, Stella and Estere, completed the family, creating a loving environment for David as he grew older. Living in Madonna's world also meant that David was constantly in the public eye. As the son of an international superstar, David attended high-profile events, traveled around the world, and experienced a lifestyle that was far removed from his early life in Malawi. From red carpet appearances to front-row seats at fashion shows, David was exposed to a world of glamour and fame from a young age. He often appeared alongside his mother at charity events, award shows, and concerts. Madonna, despite the unwanted attention, ensured that her children were allowed to grow up with the needed discipline. She was determined to balance the demands of her career with being a devoted mother. This meant providing her children, including David, with sound education and access to the best schools. As you can already tell, David attended top international schools that not only focused on academic excellence, but also encouraged personal growth and creativity. Keep watching as we unveil something unique about him. David's passion for soccer. As a child, David Banda showed a clear interest in soccer. He played with his age mates in school, and before long, it was clear that he had a natural talent for the sport. Growing up in a household with many opportunities, David was encouraged to explore his interests, and soccer quickly emerged as his passion. From his early years, he could often be seen kicking a ball around, and his enthusiasm for the game was obvious to his family. Madonna, who has always supported her children's aspirations, noticed David's talent and took it seriously. As David's love for soccer grew, Madonna ensured he had the support and resources to develop his skills. Recognizing that he had a real potential for the sport, she enrolled him in local youth soccer teams where he could train under professional coaches. Madonna's encouragement was not limited to just signing him up for practice. She actively participated in his journey. Even with her busy schedule as a global superstar, she would often attend David's games and practice sessions, cheering him on from the sidelines. David's journey as a young soccer player took a significant turn when Madonna moved her family to Lisbon, Portugal in 2017. Why Portugal, you may wonder? The truth is, Portugal is known for its rich soccer culture and is home to some of the best soccer academies in the world. For example, Portugal is the home of the world superstar, Cristiano Ronaldo. It was the perfect place for David to nurture his talent. Madonna made the move primarily to allow David to train in one of Europe's soccer hubs. She enrolled him in the prestigious Benfica Youth Academy, a training ground known for producing world-class soccer players. At Benfica, David had the chance to train with some of the best coaches and young talents in Europe. At the academy, he was provided with professional-level training and the structure needed to develop his skills further. Fortunately, David's time at Benfica was a productive experience. Not only did his skills on the field improve, but he also learned the discipline and work ethic required to pursue a professional career in sports. Although the academy was demanding, David made an effort to balance his training with his education. As David's soccer journey continued, media outlets began to take notice of his talent. His participation in the Benfica Youth Academy drew attention not only because of his growing potential as a soccer player, but also due to his famous mother. Media coverage of David's soccer career often showed Madonna's involvement and the sacrifices she made to support her son's dreams, such as relocating to Portugal for his training. While this attention may have added pressure, Madonna ensured that David remained focused on his game, shielding him from unnecessary distractions as much as possible. Since Madonna is an entertainment star, the media wasted no time in dubbing her "soccer mom." It was a term they coined as a result of her dedication to David's budding career. She, too, never shied away from this tag, as she chose not to miss any opportunity to post about his soccer journey on social media. She proudly shares moments of his progress and expresses her excitement for his future. As a matter of fact, her involvement extended beyond being a fan. She was an active part of his development by regularly meeting up with his coaches to understand his progress and how she could further support him. In all of these, however, David's path in soccer was not without its challenges. Growing up in the public eye meant that every step of his journey was closely watched, and this could sometimes be overwhelming. Unlike a regular kid whose wins and losses are only known to him and his coaches, David had to deal with paparazzi and media houses following him with cameras. The pressure of living up to expectations, both as Madonna's son and as a promising youthful soccer player, was a little too much. Balancing his fame with his desire to be taken seriously as an athlete required resilience. While some critics viewed his opportunities as a result of his mother's influence, David's dedication and hard work spoke for themselves. One of the major challenges David faced was finding his own identity in the soccer world, an identity that would not be linked to his famous family. Despite the advantages that came with being Madonna's son, he had to prove his abilities on the field just like any other aspiring athlete. His time at Benfica gave him the space to do that, as he was surrounded by peers who were equally driven. Over time, David's commitment to soccer yielded results. He began to make a name for himself, earning praise from his coaches for his skill, work ethic, and passion for the game. While the road to becoming a professional soccer player was rough, David was determined. He continued to train hard and push himself to reach new levels. Before we continue, has David visited his home in Malawi after his adoption? Keep watching to find out. Connection to his root, his identity, and ensuing drama. From the moment Madonna adopted David, she has made it a priority to ensure that he remained connected to his roots. However, this was not known to the public until much later. This period gave the media and even David's father the notion that Madonna was trying to dissociate him from his roots. What they didn't know was that she understood the importance of David's identity. She wanted him to have a deep understanding of where he came from. One of the ways Madonna encouraged this connection was through a visit she made with the boy to Malawi in 2016. At the time, the boy had just clocked 10 years old, but before that, all sorts of unpalatable rumors had started making rounds. One of them was that Madonna had divorced her husband and had started dating younger men. Somehow, his father felt it would have a negative impact on the boy. At a point, he started clamoring for David to be returned to him in Malawi. It would seem Banda had forgotten the beginning and why the boy had to be adopted in the first place. He failed to remember how he was struggling to care for David as a newborn on his own, how he was earning a measly salary of €50 a year and was to take David to an orphanage where he could receive proper care. Even for Madonna at the time, it wasn't an easy process. Madonna recalled that she forgot to apply for a passport for the 13-month-old, and this delayed the flight on the tarmac. And at the time, Yohane had to step forward publicly, telling the world's media that he supported the adoption and that blocking it would destroy his son's future. Later, Madonna described the harrowing ordeal as being as emotionally taxing as giving birth. When Madonna and David visited Malawi in 2016, they were greeted by Johanna, the village chief, and the elders. It was a surreal moment of a long-lost son returning home amidst the sound of ululations and jubilant singing from the entire community.
It was Mercy James's turn the day before, but on a trip to the Home of Hope orphanage in Malawi, big bro David Banda took the spotlight. Madonna and her adopted son were given a hero's welcome as they returned to the place where David grew up.
It was so colorful because the village had arranged performances of traditional dances, including a special performance by children from the local primary school, which David would have attended if he had grown up in the village. For Yohane, it was a joyful occasion, especially as it gave him the opportunity to introduce David to his 4 younger siblings, including the youngest, Shukilo, who was just 2.5 weeks old. In his words, he said, "I can't put into words how happy I was to spend 4 hours with my son," Yohane shared. "He's a good boy, humble and well-behaved. I am proud of him." He even said that he considers this place his home and plans to visit often, he added. Madonna's visit eased Yohane's concerns about David's well-being, which had escalated during her dispute with her ex-husband. At the time, Yohane expressed worry about David living so far away in the US, especially as Madonna was dating several younger men. "What I've heard about Madonna's lifestyle since her divorce from her husband has been quite shocking," he was quoted as saying back then. Her relationships with much younger boyfriends don't align with Malawian culture at all. David wouldn't be exposed to that kind of thing here. It's not how we live. We have strong family values. However, after months of anxiety, Yohane says he can finally relax, having embraced his son and witnessed firsthand the close bond Madonna shares with David. In an interview with Mail Online, he said, "I have nothing but praise for Madonna. I am extremely positive about her." Wow, what an exciting turnaround. But he wasn't done. He continued by saying, "I am happy. As far as I'm concerned, Madonna assured me that the boy will return to me once he has completed his education." Public image and media attention. Growing up as the adopted son of Madonna, David Banda has lived most of his life in the spotlight. From a young age, his every move has been followed by the media, being part of one of the most famous families in the world. While many would find this level of attention overwhelming, David has learned to embrace and make it work for him, especially in these days of social media. From the moment Madonna adopted David in 2006, the media became fascinated with his story. His adoption made headlines around the world, and the public was keen to know more about his life. Early on, the focus was primarily on Madonna's decision to adopt him from Malawi and the legal controversies that surrounded the adoption. As David grew older, the media's attention shifted toward his integration into Madonna's family and his development as an individual. The constant analysis of his life meant that David had little privacy, and his milestones were often the topic of discussion in public forums. The media portrayal of David's life has varied over the years. On one hand, many outlets celebrated his journey, often showing the positive aspects of his life with Madonna. This includes his passion for soccer to his travels around the world. On the other hand, there has been criticism and speculation about his upbringing, with some questioning whether growing up in such a high-profile environment would affect his development. The bond between David and Madonna is undeniable. She has often expressed her pride in him, sharing moments of their life on social media and in interviews. Madonna has taken on the role of not just a mother, but also a mentor, helping David unravel the complexities of fame while encouraging him to stay true to himself. In recent years, David has also started to develop his relationship with the public eye and social media. Like many young people, he has embraced platforms like Instagram, where he occasionally shares glimpses of his life, interests, and achievements. Social media has allowed David to take control of his public image to some extent. With social media, he can offer a more personal and authentic look into his world, something different from the narratives the media could create out of their imagination and run with. David Banda is a full-grown adult now. What does he do? Let's find out. David Banda today. Now in his late teens, David is balancing the opportunities that have come from being Madonna's son with his ambitions. Although much of his early life was shaped by media attention and his famous upbringing, David is now stepping into adulthood, pursuing his passions, and exploring who he wants to become. Apart from his athletic pursuits, David has also shown an interest in the arts and fashion. He has made public appearances with Madonna at high-profile events, often turning heads with his bold and fashionable outfits. Whether it's attending red carpet events, such as the Grammy Awards, or supporting his mother at charity functions, David's presence has attracted media attention. His sense of style is eclectic, often reflecting Madonna's influence as a pop culture and fashion idol. David has expressed his love for fashion and music, which could suggest that he might explore these fields further in the future. Recently, David Banda made his runway debut at Off-White's Spring 2025 show during New York Fashion Week on Sunday, September 8 this year, 2024. He follows in the footsteps of his older sister, Lourdes Leon, who has previously walked for Versace, Marine Serra, and Luis de Javier. At the event, Banda, who is now a musician, strutted down the runway in a plaid collared vest, black pleated trousers, statement earrings, gloves, and flip-flops. His debut was witnessed by a star-studded audience, including singer Camila Cabello, actress Issa Rae, and Olympic gymnast Suni Lee. In August 2022, on an episode of The Tonight Show, Madonna revealed to Jimmy Fallon that her son David Banda shares her love for fashion. That same year, he made headlines when he was photographed with his mother wearing a replica of the Adidas dress she famously wore in 1993. Madonna said, "He can put on any outfit and look swag as you know what. It's really irritating. He wears my clothes and looks better in them." She even added, "He can pull off a dress." She also mentioned that David is now making music and joked, "He's gonna end up being one of your guests." A while back, David launched his latest venture after his success on Madonna's Celebration Tour, where he performed as both a guitarist and dancer in every show. Also announced on Instagram that he has started his guitar sessions saying, "Welcome to my online guitar class, where everyone, from beginners learning their first chords to seasoned musicians perfecting their craft, can come together for a fun-filled jam session." He continued, "Grab your guitar and join me as we dig into the wonderful world of chords, scales, and everything in between." David continued on Instagram to encourage his potential students to bring it on and not be scared, as it doesn't matter whether they are still working on Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or ready to unleash their inner rock god. He said the class is all about embracing the joy of making music together. According to David, on his Instagram, he said his calendar is open for bookings until September, and he's ready to make a substantial profit from his jam sessions. While he advertised at $200 per hour for one-on-one sessions, the payment terms specify that participants must book 5 classes at $200 each, which will bring it to a total of $1,000 for every person who signs up. That's not too bad, don't you think? Going by how his mother has praised him in interviews, David will no doubt succeed in his ventures. On many occasions, Madonna has praised his drive and resilience. In an interview with British Vogue in 2019, she said, "What David has more than anything is focus and determination. I'm pretty sure he got it from me," she added. Looking back on their relationship, Madonna said, "He's the one I have the most in common with. I feel like he gets me. He has more of my DNA than any of my other children so far." What do you think about David and his adopted mom, Madonna? Do you think he truly shares her DNA more than her other children? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, click on the video displayed on your screen.